Morning everyone. I am Devi Priya, CSC from Lakreddy Balreddy College of Engineering. Today I would like to continue the concept of implementing threads using Runnable interface. Already in the earlier video I have shared how to create threads using a thread class and currently focusing on creation of threads using Runnable. The signature of Runnable, it is already built in. If you want to create any thread, the second way is you can implement these Runnable interface and override the method run. Then it will be converted. Whatever the class you are taking, that class will be implemented the behavior of thread class. So the signature of Runnable is it have only one method, that is run method only. It is also an interview question. They will ask how many methods are there in the Runnable. So which have only one method called run method will be there. Only one method will be there in the Runnable, that is one method is there which is called as a run. But how we can call this run method, how we can invoke the run method, because in the earlier to invoke the run method we have used the start method which already there in the thread class, but in the Runnable only run method is there. How we can call the start, that will be continue in the next continue in the next. So the logic of threads in the same way we can write it in the logic of thread will be written in the run method only. Yes. How we can, what is the entry point? Yes. We need to call the start method. How it will be? Because there is no start method will be there in the Runnable interface. Yes. Even start method is not there. So the to call the run method of particular thread, first we need to create an object for the thread class. So built-in thread class we can create thread object name equal to new thread of, it will be a built-in class only, built-in thread class of. So we need to pass an object. It is very important. We need to pass an object for implemented class. So implemented class object we can pass. So please note down, it will be important. Based on these only we can call. So whenever we want to, it is also an important interview question. There will be no start method in the Runnable. How we can invoke the how we can call the run method? So we can use a constructor of. There are different constructors will be there in the thread class. One is default constructor, and the second one is object of Runnable. So object of Runnable interface. So thread create an object equal to new thread of. Here whatever the class we are taking, implemented class, that object we can pass. We can see this with an example. So here the thread will be implemented using the Runnable interface. The thread will be created using Runnable interface, public void run. How we can create? We can create an object and within that object we can pass the class. Yes. How we can do this with an example? I can explain. Again, the class, same example, read one. So here we are not extending. Here we are implementing Runnable. Same way, we can use the same logic. Public void run now. First, I can create only a single thread for a I will be printed. Yes, and so for my convenience, I am using thread 1 plus I. Yes, thread 1 will be created in the same way. Create a thread 2 also. I am changing the values I10 to 25 and thread 2. Two threads are created by using implements runnable. Earlier it will be extend thread class and now create a class demo runnable with main method. So first create an object for the thread normal class. Object for thread 2. So I can create thread 2 equal to 32. And now if you are trying to start, I will show you this in the NetBeans ID. It will shows an error. What is that error? No start method. Why? Because the thread 2 that implements the runnable. So runnable have only one method, run only. We can override that, but no start method. Then how can I do that? So we can create thread class, built-in thread class, thread tt equal to a new thread out. So pass the object of implemented class. It is a thread 2, which is implemented class. Object of comments are very important. Make the use of a habit of writing the comments also. The new thread of what is this object? T2. Now call the start. Already thread class built-in thread have run method, built-in thread have start method, built-in thread have sleep method. So I can call tt dot start of yes. So what the tt object have? Tt object is holding the t2. So T2 thread. So indirectly it will cause the T2 thread only. So because whenever we have created an object TT, in the thread we have passed the implemented class. T2 object will be passed. So whenever I am calling this like this, the T2 thread will be invoked. Similarly, if you want to call the T1, first you may create thread 1 T1 equal to new thread 1 and now thread class thread tt1 equal to new space thread of what is the object name here t1. Now we will make the tt1 dot start. This is one way. Okay. And now tt1 is an object belongs to the thread class and where it will which object it will be having t1. So t1 thread will be called thread 1 thread 1 invoked thread 2 in. Yes. So just see it is same logic but here how we can call is an important. There is no start method in the runnable interface. So for that first you will create an object for that class and after that you will create an object for the thread class and pass the T2. So call the start method T3 dot start thread 2 will be. Okay, go to the NetBeans. I can. Here already thread will be there. I can change these uh, Yes, I will change this as not extends thread. We can write it as a implements runnable. Yes, here also the second one implements runnable, and how we can create, I will complete. So, if you have seen like this, it is showing an error. Have you observed this? What is the error? We may check this. Directly I implemented runnable, create an object for the thread T1. Yes, created an object for the thread T2. Fine. And I directly call the T1 dot start, T2 dot start. Run anyway, because yes, I will show the exception in java.thread main. Why uncompilable source code? Why this source code? Why this error? Because of there will be an error called no start method in the thread A, because it is implementing runnable. No start method in the thread B. Then what to do? So we can create a built-in thread class. Thread tt1 equal to new space thread built-in class and pass the object t1. Fine. And similarly, thread, if you don't want to create, I will show you that also again. T2. Yes. And now tt1 dot start, that invokes, which one will be invoked? T1. T1 means which thread? A thread. And T2 dot start, what is T2? T2 that invokes T2. T2 is thread. Now, yes, it will be success. Which thread? Thread 2 will be executed. Thread 1, thread 2, thread 1. Yes. First thread 2 started, thread 1, thread 2, thread 1. Context switching. So the same concept we can when we are implementing this way, why we can prefer mostly in the real time, everyone will create a threads using implements only, because if you are implementing the runnable, there is a chance of extending other classes also. If you are using the extends class, we can't extend one more class at a time. I can extend only a single class. If you are implementing runnable, you may implement another interfaces, and also you have the chance to extend one another class also. That's why mostly in the real type they can use the implements. So class define, here first we can create an object, then create a thread class. From this I want to, if you don't want to create a separate objects, there will be another option called, instead of like this, you don't create, okay. So directly you will create an object here. This is also possible. But it indicates new thread of directly we are creating an object. There is no object reference directly, but which in turns it will be considered as a object of which class? Thread A class. Anonymous object of which class? Thread B. If you don't want to create a separate object, then passing, if you want to feel some more code will be there, you can directly create thread tt1 new thread of new thread A. So which will be an object of which class? Thread A. Thread T2 equal to new thread of new thread B. It's an object of C. Now we can execute this. Yes. Thread 1 started. Thread 2, thread 1, thread 2. Please note down, it is also an acceptable. From these, what I would like to give some conclusions, I can give. observations I want to give. Yes, you can also create like this. Okay. And what are the constructors? Now you have some idea. So what are the constructors will be there? So the thread have the default constructor and thread have a constructor with one parameter, that is runnable. Its meaning is we can pass the object of runnable class, which will be this case. Here also, either first create a separate object for thread A, then pass it, or you may also create like this. Okay, fine. So please note down what are the constructors, maybe some other constructors, but from this we have identified two constructors. One is default constructor and the second one is runnable. And also we have identified some methods in the thread class. What is that? Obviously run, and the second one is stop. And in the future we may discuss sleep method, is alive, set name, get name, set priority, get priority. Next, uh, suspend, resume, wait. So those methods. And methods in all these are observations from what we have learned till now. Not runnable class, it will be runnable interface. What is it? Only a single method, that is. And where this thread and runnable will be available, that will be in the default package, which is Java. For every concept, you need to identify what are the observations you have gained. So instead of syntax to example, first we have seen the example. From that example, I have identified, okay, if you are two ways will be there. In the two ways, two different types of constructors are invoked. In the developing JDK environment, there will be two thread classes constructors with one is no parameters and the second one is single parameter. And similarly, thread group is also there. There will be another constructors will be there. The methods, subsample methods, all these are and run methods. Fine. Thank you, and I can continue the methods of thread class in the next session. Thank you, Vananda.